One.
Good evening, and welcome to the Thursday, March 26, 2020 meeting of the Long Meadow School Committee. Per Governor Baker's order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Ledger Chapter 30A, Section 20, the public will not be allowed to physically access this school committee meeting, but thanks to LCTV, we'll be streaming live through Long Meadow TV on both their Channel 9 and the YouTube platform. So thank you to LCTV working with us to be able to do that. Since we're not physically, we do the Pledge of Allegiance, but we will take a brief silence to remember all of the things that are happening across the country and the world today. Thank you. We do have correspondence.
An emailed letter from Mr. Jonathan Green dated March 22, 2020 regarding learning opportunities during the school shutdown. An emailed letter from Mr. Randy Steiger dated March 22, 2020 regarding learning opportunities during the school shutdown. An emailed letter from Mr. Andrew Lamb dated March 24, 2020 regarding the financial impact of the COVID-19 emergency on the town. And an email letter from Mr. Jonathan Green dated March 25, 2020 regarding educational needs for students.
Thanks, Ryan. I think the only thing I would update there, I think Randy Steiger is a female, just for the record.
Oh, it said Mr. on my paper. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, it said it in in mine too. I just think that's I believe Randy is a female. So if so, I did no offense meant. There's no minutes for approval. We do not consider comments. Is there any school committee announcements and/or recommendations?
Gianna does.
Hi, Gianna.
I just wanted to appreciate the Long Meadow High School teachers for sending out the hello music and cute video to all of the students. It was beautiful. The chorus was singing in the background. It was awesome.
Agree. Kevin Shea.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I also want a shout out to the Long Meadow Robotics kids, including Santino Allentuck and all their friends for doing the 3D printing, and it was a really cool announcement that Tom Landers sent out that they're making masks and trying to do their best to help as they can with the virus crisis. So that was definitely a cool thing to see what our kids are working on.
Any other school committee comments or recognition?
Ditto to vote.
Nice. All right. Seeing none, we don't have any business with guests. Marty, do you have anything to update, Superintendent?
Nothing that we can't cover under new business below.
Good. Okay. Armin, thanks for joining us. Do you want to give any update on how's things going with the student body, or how you think things are going?
Well, the students seemed a little disappointed that we're not able to go back until May. They're the students that I've been able to talk to. That's like the general consensus. Online learning has been good. It's none of my teachers have done Zoom or Hangout learning, but I know that some teachers have, and that seems to be going well. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, and I know some of these things are happening very quickly and last minute, so I appreciate everybody for making the time.
Mr. Chair, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to appreciate Armin he is a huge part of that robotics, that 3D printing initiative. So Armin, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Armin, did we capture it well? Is there anything you want to add to that project or describe it in more detail?
So yeah, basically the project is 3D printing PPE such as masks and ventilators, and then my role specifically in the project has been reaching out to hospitals, Bay State, Mercy, etc., and really just getting a sense of their supply and what their needs are. So it's been going well. and it's really great to just be making a positive impact in the community.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
All right, we have no ongoing business, so Marty, bring us to new business.
Sure, we have a couple of things, continuity of learning, update and discussion, opportunity for that right now. A lot has happened since we met only 2 days ago. Since that time, the governor has announced that we will not be back in school before May 4th. And as we sort of had indicated earlier, that will cause us to have to sort of reset our expectations. Just today, the Department of Education, Jeff Riley, the commissioner, sent out a set of recommendations. They're not requirements, but they'll certainly shape our attempts, our efforts to sort of reset the direction for the next 5 months. We understand that, we're in this for the longer haul, and that what made sense perhaps for the first couple of weeks might not carry us through for 5 weeks. So we're going to dive into that. It'll take us a day or two to redefine those expectations, those guidelines, but we'll get those out to staff and families ASAP. The other thing that has happened is that we have, as a result of the school committee meeting Tuesday night, we have put in place some guidelines and supports to allow teachers to use Zoom and Google Meet as synchronous video-based learning tools. So, we gave parents the opportunity to opt out, and many of our teachers have already activated their accounts, and beginning tomorrow, they'll have an opportunity to start video conferencing with students. So we think it'll take us to another important level and will help us get through the next 5 weeks. So, and I'm happy to, if there's anything else on the committee's minds with regard to continuity of learning, we can certainly talk about that now.
Anybody any questions or concerns since the Tuesday night? Kevin, unmute yourself.
So, Marty, I really appreciated the guidance from the Department of Education. I thought that was a very useful set of recommendations. I guess I was just curious for you to talk a little bit more if there were things in there that you thought we weren't going to follow, or if you thought like those are all spot on, those are things we're going to do. I mean, I think they had some really good suggestions about grading and about the frequency of feedback from the faculty. And again, I just thought there was a lot of useful stuff in there, and I would love to just hear your thoughts about which direction you think we're going to take those in.
Yeah, I see it as kind of a baseline. I think there were some, many of the components in it kind of match some of the things we already had in place, but there were some specifics I think that will give us a jumping off point, particularly around the amount of time that they're recommending students be engaged. And also they were encouraging sort of credit or no credit arrangements at the upper grades at the high school level. So I see those two things as important jumping off points for us. I think we know that we need to bring more structure to this than we had in the first few weeks. We want routine, we want consistency and predictability, but we also want it, and we want it to be manageable for kids and for families. So, we have to dissect it a little bit further, but those were two things I thought that jumped off the page at me, and there was so much in there that mirrored some of the things that we had already put out there as a district.
Thanks, Marty. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, I would entertain the motion to move to executive session.
Can I just read it, Armin?
Yeah, that's fine.
Recommended motion, I move that the school committee meet in executive session pursuant to MGLC 30A 21 for A, purpose, And 2, to conduct a strategy session in preparation of collective bargaining with all units and non-union staff to reconvene into open session.
Is there a second?
Second.
This requires a call, as does any of our vote that we do on video. Again, the reason to meet is to conduct a strategy session in preparation with collective bargaining with all units and non-union to reconvene into open session. Is there any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, call
Kevin's
vote.
hands up.
Sorry, Kevin.
He's got to unmute again.
He's on mute.
So I just, before we vote, I just wanted two things. Sorry, I didn't realize we were going straight into that motion. But I guess two things I'm curious about. One, I'm curious if it's useful for the school committee to make some sort of statement about how things are going, in addition to all the communication from Marty to all of the parents and kids and anybody in town. I mean, Marty's been doing a really nice job of communication, but folks haven't been hearing from us. So is that something that we should do? Maybe a note from the chair, I'm not sure. And then the second thing I'm curious to hear from Marty, are there things that he, the administration, the principals think that it'd be helpful for the school committee to do as all this stuff is going down?
You want to start, Armin, on the potential messaging from the committee, or do you want to?
No, I think there's a couple things. I think yeah, Kevin, I don't. That's a bad idea. I think I'd be happy to try and create a email from to the community. I definitely wanted to get blessed by the committee and Marty. So, or Marty operationally. So it's the will of the committee for me to put together a communication on what's been going on, how we've been supporting Marty and enabling him and the administration to be able to function during these times. And I think that's the and secondly, I think the email Mark this morning about from Harvard Business School state for as a chair, my greatest thing I think I can give to Marty at this time is my support to give him the latitude he needs to do what he needs to do, and the community to support him to for uncertain times. Nobody knows what the right or wrong decision at this point. Social emotional factors, making sure the children feel safe and secure and healthy and sound are what Desi said should be in the forefront. And then secondly, how do we extend learning in these times? And I think, what we definitely need to be able to help Marty and the administration and Marty and Sue and, everybody else. If there's anything we can do, then let us know if there's more we can be doing for you. Does that capture that second part of that, Kevin? Or
Yeah, and I would add to it. I think they'll definitely, as time rolls on and as we start to see the ripple effects of this, I think we'll start to get our head more around the potential fiscal impacts. And there'll be, and I'm sure Tom Mazza will report on this at a future school committee meeting, but there'll be some areas where there might be some costs that we didn't incur, and then there might be some areas where there were some unanticipated costs. So those will be things certainly that we'll need the school committee's direction on. And then, as right now, I don't see any policy issues on the horizon that those may come before us. And then the other area might be if there's any potential for collective bargaining implications. So, we want to be sensitive to being true to the contracts that the committee has negotiated with our unions. And if there's any modification of that, we'll need to be sure to bring that back to the committee as well. So I think right now we're in pretty good shape. Although there's an issue that we'll have to talk about shortly in executive session. But beyond that, I think we're doing okay. But there might be some other issues that will pop up.
so I guess going back to the first one, Kevin, I'll write a draft. I'll send it out to everybody, and you can get the changes to Marty directly. That way, we're not doing the chain gang and not violating any open meeting or whatever else. So, and if you are, so I guess, do we have consensus around putting together a letter, a draft, circulated draft, getting a communication out to the community on behalf of the school committee?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
All right, we've got consensus. All right, is there anything else before we move on? Okay, we've got a second, we've got a motion. I will call for the roll. I want to say Lee because it says it there, but Gianna,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Bronwyn,
Yes.
Susie.
Yes.
We are now in executive session to reconvene to open session. Thank you, LCTV. We'll be going to executive session now. Welcome back. We are adjourned from executive session. We are back in open session. We have new business, and there is a motion on the table.
I move that the school committee authorize that for the pay period ending Friday, March 27th, 2020, the district pay all current employees not on leave that portion of their base pay and the portion of any annual stipend to which they are entitled consistent with the effective collective bargaining agreement or individual contract of employment, or in the case of unrepresented at-will employees, pay them the same amount as they were paid for the previous pay period.
It's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. This will be a roll call. Gianna,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Bronwyn,
Yes.
Susie,
Yes.
Armis. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call. Gianna,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Bronwyn,
Yes.
Susie,
Yes.
Armin, yes. Thanks for joining. We are adjourned until the next school committee meeting. Thank you and have a nice night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Gianna, you're awesome. Gianna,